China is now putting a lot of pressure on the United States, and the worry is that we are not ready for what is coming this spring. Now, China is a major exporter to the United States. They're responsible for billions of dollars in retail goods. China sends billions in pharmaceutical ingredients, and their reopening is causing economists to project increased demand, especially on oil. And this is a major concern. According to experts are now warning that China's reopening will cause oil prices to rise. And as they do, us here in the United States, we will feel the impact due to our dependency on oil. But it actually doesn't stop with just China. We are also scheduled to have more than double our normal amount of oil refineries shut down this spring. According to executives, the pandemic delayed a lot of refinery maintenance, and the big one is record high margins made it very difficult for refineries to justify a shutdown at that time. As a result, refineries are just getting around to shutting down in order to conduct the proper maintenance. Now, that is somewhat terrifying because guess what that means? Prices are going up. We know here in the United States, when we see oil prices rise, gas prices go up, shipping costs increase, food costs go up, everything is just more expensive. In a time when we are now seeing inflation come down, that is supposed to be good news, but some say it's going to turn right back around and head back up. That's a problem. Now, according to Reuters and a refining intelligence firm, IIR Energy, they say that at least 15 U.S. oil refineries will shut down for anywhere between 2 to 11 weeks this coming spring. They also estimate that oil refineries will drop at least 1.4 million barrels of processing capacity due to these shutdowns. 1.4 million barrels of processing capacity per day. That is a massive amount of lost oil. This is double the average over the past 5 years. That's concerning. Now, we also know that 9 U.S. oil refineries operated by Marathon Petroleum, Valero Energy, ExxonMobil, Phillips 66, and BP will close some of their fuel-producing units this spring. This is at least according to IIR Energy and Reuters sources. We also know that PBF's Energy in Toledo, their refinery is right now currently remains mostly offline from what happened in December, and Total Energies is actually restarting most of their units at its Port Arthur in Port Arthur, Texas. This is a refinery that after it was shut down due to weather back in December as well. So that is some good news. We are seeing there's a restart, but again, according to some say it's a little bit too late, or too little, too late. So we'll see what happens there. Now, let's address what Congress is planning on doing, because Congress is not sitting back. Congress is attempting to, what they're trying to do regarding oil. The first thing that they want to do is that Republicans, they want to limit President Biden's authority as to what he can do with our Strategic Petroleum Reserve. In a recent bill, it's called the Strategic Production Response Act. This was actually introduced earlier in this month, but this was introduced by Republican Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers. What this bill would do is it would limit the presidential authority in releasing oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, except in the event we have a severe energy supply interruption, which we haven't really had. Okay, when it's not like it's a hurricane or whatever, right? So we're not seeing a massive interruption yet, at least according to reports, which is interesting because all the reports that we're seeing, they're all saying that we have a shortage, right? We don't have the supply that we need. So in my opinion, there is an energy supply interruption, but again, according to reports, no, it's not technically there. Now, according to the U.S. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm, she says, and I quote, this is from a letter she sent, but it says, this bill would significantly weaken this critical energy security tool, resulting in more oil supply shortages in times of crisis and higher gasoline prices for Americans. But if you remember, back in March of 2022, President Biden announced a sale of 180 million barrels of oil out of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The point of this was to combat rising gasoline prices caused by Russia's invasion into Ukraine. Now, the oil sales were spread out over many months, and they ended right before the midterm election. Now, as a result of what happened, this caused oil prices to come down because we had more supply. Demand was the same, but some are saying that right now we don't have this opportunity anymore, and this is going to cause upward pricing power on oil and gasoline in general. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Now, according to a Department of Energy spokeswoman, they said that at its current level, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve still remains the largest reserve in the world. However, it is still quite a bit lower than what it was in previous years, and that's where the concern comes in. Now, according to economists, they continue to say that this drawdown was needed in order to keep gasoline prices from jumping over $6 per gallon here in the United States. And again, we saw gasoline prices go up to a little bit over $5 per gallon, nationally the average here in the United States. In some places, we are still seeing gasoline over $5 a gallon. Some cases it's over $6, but that's the concern. Now, experts worry that the Biden administration is going to attempt to draw down additional barrels if prices begin to jump once again, which is the reason why that Republicans want to come out and block the Biden administration or presidential authority to release additional barrels of oil unless there's a severe supply interruption. Okay? That is key. Because again, that could mean that if we do see something that's not technically a severe supply interruption, then we cannot go and pull more oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Again, that means prices will likely increase across the board. But a lot of this is going to depend on China as well. And if we see gas and diesel prices rise, then this will have a negative effect on consumers and business spending, which will ultimately lead the United States into an even deeper recession. That's what we're hearing at this point. So again, China's putting the pressure on the United States because of their economy opening back up. But again, it's not just China. There is a major crisis on our hands. And I wanted to give you this quick little economic update because I know a lot of people are worried, what's going to happen if oil prices do increase? What happens is it's going to hurt our economy because some people are not going to be able to afford the new prices. So as soon as I get more information as to what is going on there, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. All I ask is if you can spend just 2 seconds, go ahead, hit that like button, and also click that subscribe button so you never miss an update. Again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.